So you're studying because you want to go into software. Awesome. You're a junior dev because you already studied to go into software. Fantastic. The question that I have for you now. Seriously, what were you thinking? This field? Ugh. Okay, don't get me wrong. It used to have a lot more glamour back in the day, and then things happened. But I'm actually still finding time to enjoy it, and projects that still make it worthwhile to stay in this field. But there are some headaches that I've had that I wish someone prepared me for going into this. But I'm going to tell you that, and what I'm looking forward to for the next chapters of my career in software engineering to help you navigate what the hell is going on in this messed up field today. My software engineer career began by responding to an ad in the newspaper that said C++ call Lori. I had no idea that was going to take me down this crazy road. Obviously, with it being a simple ad like that, I figured I was going to go into a small software shop. And, the glamour, the glitz, software engineering. I'm going to build products. People are going to use them. I'm going to walk around trade shows and people are going to you worked on that feature! And, when you work for a corporation, the entire point of your existence in this field is to solve corporate problems. Maybe you want to solve corporate problems. Sometimes corporate problem solving can be fun. But the corporation will put as many bottlenecks into the way as possible. I wish someone would have prepared me for that, because then I would have had a little bit more insight as to where I want to land. But the corporation at the end of the day is whatever you build can be cool, can be awesome. Your peers can go, oh, wow, how did you come up with that? But at the end of the day, it has to make a profit. Now, if you're going to say to me, it's like, I don't have to worry about solving corporate problems. I'm going into game design and development. Yeah. There's corporate problems there. You will be solving corporate problems. Again, at the heart and soul of every corporate problem is, how do we make line go up? Solving those corporate problems to simply make line go up, that's boring. Whatever the project is you're working on. If there's parts of it that are fun, cool. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. If there are parts with it that you find mind-numbingly dull, pay attention to that.
The field's so vast that if you find any part of it that just bores you to tears, it's not an area you should be focusing on. You can take all the parts you have fun with and find a way to turn just the fun into the career. What's the expression? Love what you do, and it's not work.
And when you're working on these projects that have those boring days, what can you do? You can do what every other engineer I know does. It's like, you go home, you have your own rigs, and you prototype.
And it's very hard to actually develop the way it used to be because the environment has changed. You used to be able to use corporate provided computers.
Build your own stuff. In fact, building your own stuff, researching your own things, prototyping your own things.
That was actually highly encouraged. If you're using Gmail, that was just someone who was like, I'm bored, I'm going to write this. They worked at Google at the time. Google's like, we want that.
More companies you'd think would approach that. Unfortunately today, most companies have an IT department that likes to lock down all their hardware and have so many babysitting nanny software components monitoring everything that's going on the device, from websites to keystrokes, that make that impossible. Do I ever think the field is going to get back to the good old days? Yeah, in this weird roundabout kind of way. What has me excited is that we have to realize, and we're even seeing this in another area, for everywhere there is a culture there's a counterculture. And if you want an example of this like playing out today, Apple came along and said, we're going to do liquid glass in iOS. And at first you had a very loud group of people saying, I don't like this. It's hard to see. It hurts my eyes. And then when they backed off at it, you had another group of people who said, why are you backing off the glass? That looked beautiful. And Apple's sitting there looking at this, thinking,
what the hell do you people want?
But that's the perfect example. It's not getting mixed messages. It's you heard one group of people, and then when you change something, you heard the other group of people. And the sad reality is, I've seen management and corporate not understand it's two different groups of people speaking, and it's like, this is a phenomena that you are going to deal with throughout your entire career. Because, people, they like something, they will probably stay quiet, and if they don't like something, you will hear about it. And then it goes back to which group will make line go up. So how can you tell that a project you are going to be on is going to succeed
or fail big time?
You can actually look at how it's being developed. In today's environment, the ultimate design philosophy is bottom up. And if you're a full stack developer, you're listening to this going, duh. You gotta have the backends built first. That's the infrastructure. Anything that's going to be solid needs the infrastructure first. And I swear, honest to goodness, I still come across people who do not want to do bottom up. They want to do top down. That's never going to work. If you're making an interface, what are you interfacing to if you don't know what the next level of the architecture is? How are you supposed to create a cohesive user experience when there's so many unknowns? I saw a thing on LinkedIn that put it perfectly visually. First you prototype, and it looks like a frickin' disaster. Second, you optimize it. Make it run, make it fluent, speed it up, reduce everything you can, refactor those classes, and then finally comes the user experience and the polish up step. Because at that point, it's like building a house. You don't put the drywall up first until the structure's in. Problems are never going to go away. There are going to be so many problems, and so many of that isn't going to come from software. So if the problem ends up being your fault, here's what no one told me, and here's what I'm going to say from my experience to you. Awesome. The whole point, make mistakes. You're going to learn more from making those mistakes and learning from them than you will just, oh, I know what to do. Let me just go nose to the keyboard and code. Laugh at those mistakes. Because when you're in this field, the first line of defense for making a quality product is you.
We might be saying, aren't there quality control people? There are. Are they going to be an asset? Quality control people have various range of talent. And at the end of the day, what quality control is supposed to do is take software that you've deemed to work and test it against edge cases. Really, really crazy edge cases. And they still don't get it always right.
Because let's be real. In today's age, there are so many different vendors, there's so many different hardware devices to interface with, it's not going to be possible to catch them all. So you're the first line of defense. So if you make a mistake, this is your job to fix it. Don't worry about it. Laugh about it with your friends. We have so many reviews where we look at things and find bugs before we send it out, and it's like, okay, this is freaking hilarious. And if you can laugh at your mistakes, then yeah, you have the personality to make it in this field. But then there are those times where it's like, you just can't figure it out. And then the other thing that they are not going to tell you that you come from the experience is the solution is never, and I will emphasize, 0% of the time, is the solution to spend more time staring at a screen and figuring it out. And you will figure out as time goes on and more videos pop up on this channel, I am riddled with ADHD. So for me, the best solution is to actually go take a walk. That gets the thought process flowing. I know other engineers who will go hit the gym. I heard another engineer tell me the story, he will go hit the steam room. But the important thing is, when you find yourself banging your head into the desk, walk away. The solution will just come to you. I can't explain it beyond that. It will happen. You will experience it. The biggest pain in the butt, and this is happening all over the field right now, is there is a huge disconnect between management and the people who are actually building the technology. These people love what they do. You're gonna love what you do if you're down here. The team I'm on, I have young guys working with me. I take my experience. They bring all their newfound ideas that they just learned in college because they've been in it more recently. We go through Git, we merge code. I learn from them, they learn from me. We continue to grow. That's fun. That's working together. That is a team that comes together and works together. Find yourself on a team like that. And let's be real. The bigger the company you work for, when there's more managers, and in many cases, AT&T, more managers than actual developers on a project. And if this excites you, find the biggest corporation and go work for them. If this does not excite you, you're going indie studio, smaller workshop. There's plenty of them out there, but even in a small size studio, indie developer corporation, you still want to look at who's the leader. If the person in charge is someone who did engineering, you're probably good. Pay attention to how strong your team is, how collaborative your team is. And that's not even on the day job. If you get in there and you really get to know the people down to like their personal life, what makes them tick? What are their hobbies? This is one of the things in this side hobby that I have. We're what's called a flat organization. Yeah, I'm the guy in charge, sure. But the people that are helping me with this, the ones who volunteer some time on the side to give me a hand, they have a particular set of skills. And when I need something, I go to the one who has the skills as to what they're good at. That's ideally how it should be. You would not believe how many managers, and I'm saying this as a manager, don't get that. If someone has a skill, use that skill to make everything better. I've seen managers just go on that, and everyone suffers because the people who can do it best and build excitement for a particular area because they're skilled in that area don't get the chance to shine. That's not cool. So I guess the question that's left is, am I excited going forward? Yes. I'm still having fun. I'm still building cool stuff, and I am still meeting and working with really awesome people. And I still haven't stopped learning. Making sure code does not erode. Making sure we refactor as new standards come out and new tech comes out. Making sure we keep the encapsulation so we don't break things when we tweak one little component.
This is fun to me. I enjoy doing this stuff. It's giant puzzles that need to be solved, and to actually see the puzzle come together and complete the picture, that's exciting.
And thank goodness I studied the distributed system model, because where we are looking going forward is to preserve this model, where as much as possible of your own creations, your own data that you produce. Excel spreadsheets, fine. You love accounting, awesome.
But if you're a content creator If you're a musician, if you're an artist and you want your works protected and not trained on AI where copyrights apparently are just out the window now,
you're going to want to keep this stuff locally and off the cloud. And that's still the model we're going to keep. I was reading LinkedIn after CES and someone actually posted that they ran into a person who was so excited about their MacBook Pro and how they can run a 70 billion parameter LLM right there on their own MacBook Pro. Of course. Awesome. But the reason that this person put the post is because someone actually wants to use an LLM as a tool on their local device. Ever since the days of thin clients, okay, even in web servers, your basic web page, when you hit it, what does the server do? Sends you the HTML, sends you the CSS as to how to format this HTML. It's all text, happens very fast. All the rendering and stuff happens locally on the device with the web browser. This is a model that works. My fun is still building out the challenges to keep everything as local and in a person's control as much as possible. How much can I now push locally to the client and have the client do everything? Your data, whatever you're doing, however you use your device, that's all on you. You do you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I totally appreciate it. I enjoy talking about this stuff, so join me down in the comments and we can keep the conversation going. And if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and leave me a like. And until we get an opportunity to hang out like this again, beware the full moon.